Morning. It's 5:18 a.m. on this Saturday morning. I can't sleep. So, one of the things that I've realized that I want this project to be the best thing that I can make it. Um, Obviously, the quality of video, production value has to go up on that. But as far as the content, hopefully that's good. I find myself thinking about it all the time. If I could do this at work, I tell you, this would be a whole lot longer, and I struggle not being able to share everything in one sitting. I know I could sit and just talk and talk and talk. In fact, that's why I'm not in bed right now, as I should be. But that's what it is. I'm awake now. Haven't been able to sleep, and I start to think about this and wanting to do this. And I keep thinking about you guys. So many people have shown so much support on this. I've only done one video, one 12-minute video. So I owe it to you guys to get the best stuff out there and to continue with all of it. I love this, and it's just a matter of figuring out YouTube and some of the other minor details and things that I've run into. That being said, I do want to get into this today. And hopefully we can have a video out for you today. Because I owe it to you guys, but at the same time, I don't remember if I said this in my first video, but I'm also doing this for me. So putting this out and leaving myself vulnerable and putting it out there, it's what I need to do for me. But I hope in the time I tell the story that it helps somebody, or creates knowledge anyway. All right, so let's get into it. So we got the introduction done last video. One of the things I kind of just wanted to start by saying, don't wait to go to the doctor. Me doing that made things so much worse, and multiple doctors have vouched for me on that. All agree that I should have come in much sooner. So lastly, before I get into this, obviously I had testicular cancer. So we're going to be talking about my balls. Or ball. So just understand that that's going to happen. So anyway, started early in the year of 2016. I noticed my left testicle had gotten larger and more dense, um, so it was harder. Um, and I didn't think anything of it. In fact, I looked it up. It didn't. There was no pain. So I looked it up though, and I looked it up on WebMD. Well, you know that if you look something up on WebMD, it's going to tell you have cancer anyway. So if you stub your toe on something, it's going to tell you should probably go to the doctor because you have cancer. Um, but uh, I ignored it. I just ignored it. I figured I'm like it's got to be something different. Don't know what it would be, but I'm like it's got to be something different. Um, I had gone months with that thought process, and then uh, I noticed it never got better. There was never any pain, but it just never got better. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is it. Whatever. Uh, it is what it is. No big deal. So at that point, all of a sudden I started getting a pain on my left side. And um, again, ignored that. It was on my left side, but it also felt like it was on my back. Um, so I just thought it was like muscle pain on my back. So um, I would actually like roll around on a tennis ball on my back to kind of massage it. Um, it got to be to the point where the pain was so strong it prevented me from sleeping. So I would actually sleep with a tennis ball underneath my back. Uh, Not very comfortable. In case you're ever curious about that. Um, the other thing, I just it was really strange. That pain in my side actually went away occasionally. Um, it didn't always. It wasn't always there. So it was like it'd be there for 2 weeks, and then it'd be gone for 2 weeks, and then it'd come back for 3 or 4 weeks, and then it would be gone for 2 weeks, and then when it came back, I kept waiting for it to go away. Um, it didn't. In fact, at that point, it only got worse. Um, I tried Pepto, I tried all these different things, and I just couldn't. I couldn't function anymore. I was up for days at a time, and I had finally um, well, actually, I even wrote a note because this was actually kind of funny. Um, so there is, I think it's true. Uh, I'd have to look at the facts again to see if it is, but I'm pretty sure it's true that uh, some pregnancy tests will test positive on males that are positive for testicular cancer. Um, so yes, I actually bought pregnancy tests. Well, good news. I'm not pregnant. Never have been. So, um, I think I put some weight into that too, as far as what I believed. Uh, so yeah, I told myself that. Um, I mean, I just didn't. I was naive in my understanding of cancer, and that I still look at myself and reflect on it, and that whole "it's not going to happen to me" thing. Um, that's a great thought, and um, it's hopefully never going to happen to anybody. Um, but we also know that's not the truth. That's not what's going to happen. Um, you know, I think what held me back too from going into the doctor was not that I was afraid of the doctor, um, or necessarily even the cancer diagnosis, because I pretty much knew. Um, I mean, even though I kind of was in denial about it, I didn't know what else it could be, so I kind of knew. I'm like, it's probably cancer, and I should probably do something about it. Um, what I fought back on with in here in my head um, was insurance. I didn't have great insurance at that time, and um, it was not something I wanted to have a bill for, especially if it was nothing. Like if it was just like put ice on it and you'll be fine in 2 weeks. Take this for whatever, and it would have been a big bill that I didn't feel like I was ready to pay for. Um, so I just dealt with it, and I think that's why I didn't go to the doctor. Um, so yeah, that's the other part. You know, don't like just go to the doctor. If there's something concerning, go to the doctor. Okay, that's my spiel on that. Um, so I guess moving on that. So one morning, similar to this, where it's like 5:30 in the morning, um, I I want to say it was a Monday. I think it was a Monday morning, and I called Nurse Direct, and she's like, "Yeah, you know, you need to go. You need to go see a doctor. You need to go see a doctor." At that time, I didn't have a um, I didn't have a primary care physician. That's it. Uh, so I'm like, I don't have one. Just schedule me for one. So the nurse direct person or whatever ended up getting me scheduled with Dr. Schuler. Um, if I can figure out more about YouTube, uh, how to post pictures or whatever, I'll throw a picture up. She's a guardian angel. Um, and I tell her that every time. So we've had a couple good cries about it. I cry a lot. For those of you who have not caught on to that bit yet. Um, so anyway, uh, moving forward, the next part for me was going in to see the doctor, going to see Dr. Schuler. Um, I was nervous but ready. I was so ready to go to bed and have a normal night of sleep and just get to that point. And um, it so I was excited, I was anxious and ready to meet with her. Um, Met with her. Um, she gave me a quick physical and basically told me, yeah, there's something different. Um, Boy, that opened me up for a lot of jokes right there. Enjoy for everybody that wants to joke about that, because uh, we can joke about it, or I can joke about it. Anyway, um, in reference to my testicle, she realized that there was an issue. Um, and so I was like, okay, what do we got to do? And she's like, yeah, we'll start you off. We'll do a ultrasound, ultrasound of the testicle, and then of my side where I was experiencing pain. So I was like, great. So the next day, I went in, and she had told me, Dr. Schuler had told me, all I had to do was go do my ultrasound. They would have the results back right away. So I would just have to go to the clinic. I don't even have to set up an appointment or anything. It was just go back to the clinic. And by the time I get there, I'll wait for a short time and they'll bring me in and talk to me. It was a strange thing, and I still don't know exactly what happened. Um, so uh, basically, I got back to the clinic and the nurse pulled me into the office and she looked concerned, confused, all of it. I'm not real sure what was going on, but she's like, we need you to go do that again. So I had to go back to the Russian lady. It was a Russian lady that was doing the ultrasound. And at this point, more people had looked at my genitalia in 1 week um, than in a long period of time at that point. So, as uncomfortable as I had been, I am now going back into the ultrasound area where the Russian lady is going to put the cold gel on my nether regions again. And it was just so awkward that day. But anyway, um, I went back to the clinic after the second round of doing it, and Dr. Schuler brought me in, and again, I had known kind of what to expect and what was going on. Um, so no matter what she was going to tell me, I wouldn't have been shocked because I had basically been telling myself for the last 8 to 10 months. I know, 8 to 10 months, that I was cancer free. However, I was also in the back of my head, the logical voice was telling me, dude, you have cancer. Like, you need to get this shit figured out. So that's what happened is at that point, she's like, you have cancer. And she was so good about it. Um, it was, there's nobody else I can think of, like doctors I've had in the past, that I would have rather heard from tell me that. She was phenomenal with it. Um, it's that's such a hard thing to have to do, and um, she didn't know me from anybody. I wasn't a patient of hers. I wasn't anything, and she sat down and took the time and explained everything to me. Um, Explained what the next parts of the process were, and for me it was the easiest thing I had. Like, she's like, yeah, you have cancer, and I'm okay, what's the next step? It's not um obviously something anybody wants to hear, and I don't want to play it off like it was something that was like, yeah, big deal, whatever. um because I certainly still had to deal with it. um and I was so relieved to have answers. Like, I knew what was going on. Um, I was so happy I knew what was going on, and so the first thing, I needed to project it. I needed to tell the people that were close to me what was going on, um, because I didn't want that I didn't want that like confined. I needed to vomit that one out. So at that time, my oldest brother Josh lived 2 minutes from the hospital or the clinic where I went, and I was also supposed to have lunch with my dad. Um, and so I decided that uh, I was gonna go stop at Josh's. However, he worked nights that previous night, so I tried to get a hold of him, and he didn't answer. So I just kept going. Um, I canceled uh, lunch with my dad that day. Not sure why. I think lunch probably would have been okay. Um, and I guess I, I wasn't eating much anyway. Um, like I had lost a lot of weight up to that point. Actually got to the point where I was getting compliments on a weekly basis. How much, Jack? You lost a lot of weight. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Jack, you lost so much weight. Whatever. I'm like, great, thank you. So nice. Everybody's so nice. Um, I do have a friend named Tammy, and she's like, Jack, you lost a lot of weight. And I'm like, oh, thank you. She goes, no, you look like shit. Hmm. There it is. Um, and she was probably part of it that got me moving as far as changing my mentality to get my ass to the doctor. Um, but I'll wrap this up here because I know I've gone 22 minutes and I don't want you guys to lose interest. But uh, quick story. So I told my dad that I wasn't going to be doing lunch. Um, and then at the same time, I told him that um, I had testicular cancer, um, and that I was going to be one nutty guy. Yes, that is the joke I opened up with when I said I had cancer. I'm going to be one nutty guy. I thought for like a whole 20 minutes what I was going to, like, what joke I can say, because when you tell somebody you have cancer, it's it's a weird experience because I don't I didn't want them to worry about me, and I didn't want to worry about me. So there was a lot of damage control because I knew it was early, and I knew that um I knew it was early in the process. I was way late on getting to the doctor, but um I knew there was a lot I um, had to care for, because I didn't want anybody to worry, especially with how early we were in the process. So, yeah, I opened up with that joke, and I called Jeremy after I talked to my dad. Jeremy is my middle brother, and then Josh had called me, and um, I told him. My mom was actually out of state, and I'm gonna save that story for another time. Just again, due to the time, I'm trying to wrap this up here in a minute, but um, uh, I decided to hold off on telling my mom until she got home, um, because she was out of state for work, and I didn't want her to um, jump on the first flight home, and we wouldn't be able to really do anything anyway. But everybody did hear the one nutty guy joke. Amongst, and I'm still making so many testicular cancer jokes or ball jokes. It's just, it's ridiculous. But I still find humor in it. And sometimes smiling is the best medicine in all of it. And I wish you guys could know how much this means to me. Like, this is a big deal for me that I get to do this. I have all sorts of things going on in life right now, and this extra project is like the greatest thing for me. So, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for letting me take up 26 minutes of your time, and have a wonderful weekend. I'm gonna try and get out another video sooner, much sooner than this one was. Oh, and by the way, I just had a CAT scan and some labs, uh, blood draw stuff, whatever, and everything's fine. I don't have cancer still. So fuck cancer. Life is good, and stay positive.